Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you. Tonight was an awesome night of Monday Night Raw, and I didn't really remember it or think of it until, honestly, the main event, and I was trying to play up how big this match really was and how, Roman Reigns got the biggest win of his short career tonight, and that, this is a pretty big deal to beat CM Punk on Monday Night Raw in the main event. And I know this isn't a title match or anything like that, but, a guy with, like, CM Punk's, stature as a babyface doesn't really lose that much on Monday Night Raw. You can think of, how big of a deal it was when John Cena lost on Raw. The last time I can remember, honestly, was back when he lost to Tenzai. I'm sure he's lost somewhere here or there along the way, but, I mean, that was, a really big deal. That was, holy shit. I know that, since, Monday Night Raw came along, and the competition with Nitro, the way that TV is, but I mean, as I was a kid and I was growing up and I used to watch TV shows a lot, to see, a big star lose was a big deal, even if it was, a mid-card guy on Superstars, in, the main event. You saw a guy like Tito Santana, lose to Rick Martel or something like that. That was a huge, big deal, because most of the time TV was full of jobber matches and things like that, and that's just one of the things that's really, gotten better with wrestling in the last 20 years, but it's also sort of watered it down a little bit, seeing how every week they have to find a way to fill 3 hours for Monday Night Raw and make it big for us. But an awesome match. It's easy to say that this more than likely will be on the Best of SmackDown and Raw 2014. An awesome way to kick off. They've always tried to treat the first Raw of the year as a big spectacle. I can remember Miz versus Morrison was a big match. Last year we had the TLC match, CM Punk versus Ryback. As far back as I can remember, Ric Flair versus Triple H was a big match. They always try to give us a big, huge main event to tune in to say, you know what, we're kicking this off, we're moving in the right direction. Royal Rumble's around the corner, which means, we're going to be, closer to WrestleMania. I was talking to my buddy Christian today, and I was talking about the WrestleMania stuff that was coming up, and I was like, well, we got Hall of Fame stuff coming up in January, and then right after that, we'll have some Access stuff probably in February. So that stuff's got, I was like, fuck, it's January. I mean, that's now. We got to get this done. Mania's going to be here in no time. But awesome match between Punk and Roman Reigns. I just read news on Figure 4 Weekly, F4W.com, that Ziggler wrestled in the Superstars match and, got another concussion fighting Ryback. So hopefully they'll send Ziggler home for a while, let him get his head straight. He hadn't been on TV or wrestled a match in a good little while. And it seems, as far as I know, this is his first match back since, having his last concussion. So I don't want to lose a guy like Dolph Ziggler. We all know what concussions do to your head. I don't want to say that he's going to, turn into the next Chris Benoit, but we need this guy to get better. I know a lot of people were tweeting out, pray for Lawler, and it's debatable if the people that are really tweeting out, pray for Lawler, are really taking their time out of their day to pray for Jerry Lawler, or if they're just posting as a tweet. But, have Ziggler in your thoughts, dude. The guy needs to get better. He's a great superstar, a great wrestler. One of my favorites should be one of yours. And if he has these, concussion after concussion after concussion, the career that is basically, you can debate on saying is starting, to get to that level. You can say that he really got to that level last year. But, I mean, we need him to get higher. It could be ending sooner than later. Ric Flair kicking off Monday Night Raw, coming out with the sunglasses, was awesome. That was fucking sweet, and it might have been, all we got to pump us up for the Rumble with Randy Orton and John Cena, but, Flair was the man. Orton trying to, bully Flair around, and Flair not stepping down even at his age, just reminds me back to that brawl that I was talking about the other day, that they had, I think it was, getting us towards WrestleMania 25, but fucking awesome stuff, man. John Cena coming out there, him and Flair doing the strut, that was good shit. I do not understand the build-up with the Wyatts thing. They basically showed us the whole match from last week, Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatts, and then we get a match, and so Wyatt's against the Usos and Rey Mysterio. If they've ever been, a team and a guy paired up to and have a 6-man against the Wyatts, this is it. And they fucking won the match. They're making this Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatts thing be out to be some big, huge thing, how they're a force to be reckoned with. The Wyatts were a big deal, and now they get Daniel Bryan, and all of a sudden now they lose their first match? I don't know. I guess they're trying to, get us all, pumped up for the Wyatts versus the Usos on SmackDown. Who gives a shit? Them losing this match better make some sense in the long run. Still hoping to see Daniel Bryan turn on these guys winning the Royal Rumble. But now that they're calling him Daniel Wyatt, I don't want to see Daniel Wyatt win the Royal Rumble. We need to see this guy turn sooner than later. A whole bunch of backstage shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on between Brad Maddox and Kane, but I guess Kane's, basically threatening to kick his ass, even if he gets fired or if he doesn't get fired, so I don't fucking know. Big E, I love the guy. Curtis Axel, I don't really like you that much. I had to fast forward this match, I wasn't that big of a fan. The Shield having Piper's Pit on there was pretty fucking cool. One of my favorite moments was at the end when, sort of the Shield decided they were going to kick the shit out of Roddy Piper, and Seth Rollins was just like, Piper, into the microphone. I thought that was one of the coolest moments, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we all knew he was coming. CM Punk made the save. I thought that, honestly, Roddy Piper dropping Punk's name, saying, you're not better than Punk, you're not better than Punk, I could beat Punk, I thought that was a little bit too much, and I don't know. This wasn't one of the best Piper's Pits they've ever done, but it worked for what it was. New Age Outlaws coming out there to fight the fight with CM Punk really didn't make any sense to me, especially with a lot of people saying that CM Punk's going to be fighting Triple H come WrestleMania. And here the New Age Outlaws are, Triple H's guys. Triple H is the guy, when you think of DX, you think of the New Age Outlaws. They sort of go hand in hand. There was a small little time period when Billy Gunn and Triple H weren't in DX, and X-Pac and Road Dogg were a tag team, and they called each other D-Generation X. But in my mind, there's never been a D-Generation X that Triple H wasn't a part of. And, for them to be out there fighting with CM Punk while Triple H is in charge doesn't make any fucking sense to me. While Triple H would call his guys up to come out there and help the guy that he doesn't like. I didn't like that. But then we had Sin Cara versus Alberto Del Rio. This has turned into a pretty good little rivalry. Probably the rivalry that they thought they were going to get when they signed Sin Cara back in the day. I'm guessing Sin Cara 2.0 is going to be moving in the right direction. My match of the night was the Road Brothers versus the Real Americans. I know a lot of people will give it to that main event. And but to me, I really, really enjoyed this tag match. Honestly, in my mind, I do not understand the period of the matches where they're beating the shit out of Cody, trying to get the hot tag with Goldust. It should always be Goldust getting the big shit kicked out of him, trying to make Cody Rhodes look like the star in the long run. I thought that was the reason why. I was hoping this was going to be the start of the turn, but more than likely the turn's not going to come till right at Elimination Chamber or something like that. But I mean, honestly, if you're like me, you're watching every Rhodes Brothers match just looking for that big turn. Great Khali, Damian Sandow, who gives a shit. I picked Sergeant Slaughter as the guy who was going to win the app thing. I called myself a winner, and I fast-forwarded this match. Hopefully you guys did too. Big Show showed up to sort of fight the fight for Mark Henry. What the fuck happened to Big E? He sort of like just disappeared into the back, hanging out with all the legends back there. Nikolai Volkov, Sergeant Slaughter. No, it's not Sergeant Slaughter. $1 Million Man, IRS, telling him he better pay his taxes. I guess he forgot about, Brock Lesnar breaking his buddy's arm. But Big Show came out there. Who knows what they're going to do with this? Are they going to fight next week? Are they going to have a match at the Royal Rumble? Are they going to be in the Rumble? I want to know. Xana got another win in another tag match against the Bellas. Alicia Fox was in there wearing some sailor outfit that looked pretty hot, except for the bloomer pants. The WWE Legends came out. Bad News Barrett's little podium rose up, and everybody looked up at him except for Roddy Piper, who didn't give a fuck about Wade Barrett. I don't know. Just the camera angle they chose. They had to find a new one very fast because no one gave a shit. Then we go to Mean Gene, saying that he had the new hotline and give it a call for the scoops at $5.99 a minute. The New Age Outlaws came out there again. to be out there with CM Punk. This is sort of like a lumberjack match, or just they were in the corner. CM Punk against Roman Reigns. They wanted to make sure they didn't get into it. Well, they fucking ended up getting into it anyways. And like I said, it just didn't make sense to me. I thought this match was going to be over twice. I thought Roman Reigns was going to hit the big spear early. Punk was able to get out of the way, and then Punk rolled him up, and I said, oh, well, there it is. That's the finish. And he kicked out, and the match kept going from there. Really, really good match. He was able to get the pin. Then out of the middle of nowhere, the Shield started getting the upper hand, and then all of a sudden Jake the Snake music came out, and I was really surprised to see Jake there. Honestly, in my mind, when he wasn't announced for Old School Raw and he tweeted out that he wasn't even called about it, honestly, I thought they were just trying to keep his name out of there, because I thought they were going to let him, accomplish his goal that he set late last year, or I guess early last year, saying that he wanted to be in the Royal Rumble. And by keeping him off of Old School Raw, kept his names out of the headlines with WWE, and stopped putting the puzzles together, and probably killed a lot of people. So when he came out, he got the huge surprise. Well, he got the huge surprise tonight. Maybe they don't have a spot for him in the Royal Rumble. Maybe they're a little scared about him getting in and getting out of the ring. Maybe they got Hulk Hogan for the Rumble, and they don't want to give Jake the Snake the spot either, because they don't want to have too many legends filling up that, and they just want to make sure they have all their guys and Hulk Hogan, and that's it. But Jake the Snake Roberts got his moment. We can all thank DDP for the condition that he's in, and hope that he can get his life going through in the right day. Going through in the right direction. Next guy we got to get back is Scott Hall. I think a lot of people would love to see Razor or Scott, get that one moment in the sun. And honestly, giving it to a guy like Jake the Snake Roberts, who I hope is a Hall of Famer this year, means Scott's at least got to be up and around the corner. Kevin Nash can be there. X-Pac can be there. Everybody, there won't be a dry eye in the house, because everybody knows the story that Scott Hall's went through. He's got to be the next guy to make the big return to WWE. Well, that and Hogan. Peace out.